Welcome to my channel, guys. My name is James. Today this is going to be a super quick and easy video and recipe. Actually, this is going to be a two-part recipe, so in the next video I'll show you on how you can use this, what we're going to make today, this pesto. Now, we're not going to be making the same old basil pesto, although I have a good recipe for it. We're going to be making a cilantro pesto, which is still very, very tasty and easy to make. I've made a lot of other pestos, and trust me, there are a lot of variations and varieties as well, so those will be for later videos. So before we get going today, be sure to like the video down below, subscribe, and check out the rest of my videos that I have up on my YouTube channel, as I have many recipes, including Spanish cuisine and a few international dishes as well, that you may be interested in seeing. So let's get started. So to start the recipe, we're going to first toast our nuts. Now I'm going to be using some hazelnuts. You can substitute with cashews if you want, almonds, or even use pine nuts as you always do for the traditional basil pesto. So for the hazelnuts, we're going to weigh them out, then we're going to put them in the oven, and we're going to toast them. It'll take 12 to maybe 15 minutes depending on the time. Just keep an eye on them because the hazelnuts will take a little longer than pine nuts, for example, and if you are using pine nuts, watch them because they can burn very quickly. Now with the hazelnuts, after they're done, you're going to take them out of the oven, let them rest and cool off a little bit, and then you're just going to break the skin off with your fingers. That's it. Very easy. Now the reason why we're toasting the nuts is because they bring out an extra flavor. This is why we normally toast almost all the nuts and even some spices such as black pepper, because it just brings out the extra flavor which enhances our dish and this sauce. Now for the cheese. You can use Parmesan if you want, or a similar variety. I'm just going to cut it into smaller cubes from the bigger piece, and if you want to put a little extra in, you can. Now remember, if you're using Parmesan or a similar cheese that's very salty, depending on the amount of cheese that you put in the pesto, you may not need to add that much salt. So we'll have to do this at the end. Just keep that in mind. Next, with the clove of garlic, I'm just going to cut the end off, take the skin off, and leave it whole. Then, lastly, for the cilantro. Now, I'm going to use the whole bunch of cilantro. It's going to be more or less 50-60 grams. If you want to double the recipe, you can. I'm just going to cut it off at the stems. Now, you can pick it if you want, but with my time, normally when I don't have a lot of time in the kitchen, it's not feasible to pick through it. Not only that, but you can use the stems, which a lot of people don't. It has flavor in it and they're edible. So I'm just going to cut it off, pick through it to make sure there are no rotten pieces and no blades of grass in it as well. And then if you want, be sure to give it a rinse and wash off any dirt that you may have on it. Now we're going to mix. You can use a hand blender if you want. I'm going to use my blender, but if you have a Thermomix, it's the best thing to use or a Vitamix, because you have a lot of control on the different speeds that you can use as well. So first I'm going to add the nuts in. I'm going to blend them. We're going to break them first because they're the hardest, so just blitz them for a few seconds. Then you can add the cheese in, give it a few blitzes as well. Then the garlic, a little bit of oil, and lastly, I'm going to add the cilantro. I'm going to add half at a time. The reason why is because the herbs are green, so anything green you want to add last. Because the more times that blade spins, the more friction is creating and the hotter it's getting. So when you're adding anything green to a sauce or anything like this and you're going to blend it, you want to add it at the end. Otherwise it's going to turn brown. Now, a quick tip, if you're making a very big batch of pesto, a few hundred grams to a kilo or more, you want to keep in mind that the blades are going to get very hot, so you may want to add some ice cubes to the blender to cool the sauce down. Otherwise, it will turn brown on you, trust me. And adding an ice cube or two for a big batch is not a problem. For a little batch that we're doing, it's not necessary because we're not blending that long. So we're just going to give it a few blitzes. We're going to add a little bit of salt after we taste it to see if we like it or not. And that's it. It's a very easy recipe. So guys, be sure to check out the rest of my videos that I have up on my YouTube channel for more recipes. Stay tuned for the next video, which I'm going to show you how to use this little pesto that we made. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like the video, and if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to ask me right down in the comments below, or even if you have any ideas as well for me to make. Thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you again very, very soon. Take care.
Every day will bring me something new.